Real estate professional with salary downgraded from $74,800 last year to $40,500 currently. What on earth is happening to our country? I'm an escrow officer with 27 years experience. I earned a good salary. I paid my dues for many years. Yet here I am, 52, asking my mom to pay my health insurance. Because I just simply do not have the money. Of course she says I just need to buckle down and learn to manage my money. Laughs on her. After I pay my rent and food, there's no other money to manage. If I'm in this position, with a college degree and a ton of extremely good work experiences with references, how on earth is our country making it? How on earth is our country making it? We're not. We're just hoping to die before it gets unbearably bad. You work in a volatile industry. When the industry was doing well, you got paid well to make more money for capital interests. Now that the industry is not doing well, you are not getting paid well to make more money for capital interests. The problem is that labor is dominated by capital. The only thing the government can do to slow down the housing market is regulate it. Ban or tax rentals at a very high rate. Corporations found a new market to manipulate. In the same way a big box undercuts prices for goods to put small shops out of business, they will keep prices high and prohibit entry so you can rent from them. If the Fed lower rates, watch the prices climb. Let's be honest. Government is not going to regulate anything until the boomers are gone. Healthcare really needs to be decoupled from employment. With 27 years in real estate, certainly you're aware that it's all boom bust. It's the industry equivalent of working in a gold rush town. I have yet to meet someone in that industry with more than a 2-year outlook on their own career. Which is ironic given that the clients they work for invest in terms of decades. What happened to your country is that you let assholes bury deep into your brain that single payer healthcare is communism and that healthcare is a market like anyone else. That Americans aren't rioting and burning everything is beyond my understanding. This country is fucked up. Well, your industry ruined the housing market by trying to use it as an infinite investment vehicle. So now we can't afford to buy your products. I for one am totally stoked that real estate jobs are tanking. Although I sympathize with you and your family for losing income and having to live like all of us in an insanely inflated and unrealistic world. Sales jobs, real estate included, are absolutely part of the problem. Same scenario for me, and most people I know have been laid off for up to and over a year in retail lending. Market news I'm seeing is they aren't expecting the industry to recover until 2025 now. But I've been looking for work across several industries and I'm seeing reductions in wages across the board. Average wage I'm seeing for every more than 10 years experience is barely around $22-26 an hour in a HCOL area considered low income in Seattle. Now you make less than $89,000 a year, $42 an hour FT. I'm sorry this happened to you. Maybe you should cut back on your avocado toast? But seriously, your situation sucks and is unsustainable. You are also about to hit the next big FU part of the US economy. Ageism. People always want to hire young, healthy, cheap people. It is unlikely that you will find a better paying job in the near future. So that leaves your housing as the only way to cut back costs. Can you find a cheaper place to live or move in with roommates? When your wage is tied to how much debt you can put a person into. My immigrant dad and I were talking about the financial struggles for people at this time. He said people need to tighten their belts and not eat so rich. I told him people aren't going out getting ribeye. They're doing struggle meals on a daily. His solution was that people should skip meals then. Yes. So people should just starve? It's tough to argue about the struggle as both him and my mom came from nothing as refugees and have been successful with hard work. But it's hard to tell them that people in the same position would most likely have not succeeded like they have in today's economy. 1. I deeply sympathize with you. Stupid healthcare costs and the downgrade in income. But stares in Afro-Latina. 2. Honestly, you were part of the machine that happened to this country. Paying your dues has never meant a damn in this country. And I am amazed that it took you this long to see this. What's happening to our country is the natural result of neoliberalism. The more you weaken the power of the labor force and social safety nets, the more control rich people have. The wealth gap is the widest it's been since the French Revolution. Middleman jobs that take more money from the equation with little to offer are the first to go. Soon sleazy realtors themselves will be out. I can't imagine not having the foresight that your field is niche and frankly useless if people educate themselves. You should have prepared for this. But you are still young enough to start a new field. 40 years of trickle-down and boomer economics. Look, the USA is shit. Wall to wall right now. Honestly, it has been for quite some time. The ironic part is now, instead of the young generation saying how the fuck is anyone able to live, it's creeping up to the generations before us that were just having a gay ol' time telling us to buckle down. The rope has been on fire for a while. It's just starting to burn upwards now. You work in the realty industry. I do not feel bad. I understand, as I am also in real estate. My close friend was laid off from her escrow officer job for making too much money. She was the best in town. It took her 6 months to get a new job. I do believe our industry will suck for years to come. You are asking the good questions. I'm older and have seen the ups and downs. My dad had a union job. And we were solidly middle class. Our country is massively effed up now. It will get dramatically worse if Trump or any other Republican gets back in office. No shit op. Paragraphs dude. I'm amazed every day that goes by there isn't some sort of revolt. But the problem is the public seems to be hyper-focused on Team Red or Team Blue. They're just two sides of the same coin. The boomers are perfectly happy with the status quo and actively fight to keep it. I think it's gonna take something titanic for things to change. It could just get worse too. I'd seriously consider emigrating to another country with universal healthcare if I were you. Buckle up. You've been aiding in screwing people over. Now that everyone's screwed, so are you. Real estate agents and car salesmen. Whatever. It's insane that you have worked in real estate for 27 years and the housing transaction volume didn't raise any red flags for you. Meanwhile, I have never worked in real estate or even owned a house, and I get halfway through reading this and go, well, yeah, duh. It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. Since you've been working 27 years, how did you end up in this situation, given you survived 2008? Your mom may be right. Tell your mom thanks for voting for Reagan in 1980. We all love it now. Get a real job. Welcome to sales. I told my coworkers to prepare for a 10-year recession, and I think we are a couple years in. You work in a very volatile industry and you know that. You've seen the writing on the wall for a year now and chose not to jump ship somewhere else.